Because what's about to happen to me is that I'm about to take off my clothes, 5 guys are about to pop out the closet, and that's going to be the end of me. I hear something in the closet, brother. I start. If I were to give my top place in Peru, it would be fending for my life, trying to fight this cramp. Let me just talk to you for a second, because now this is starting to feel like a setup. So I was like, you know what? I don't feel comfortable. I'm going to leave. As I'm walking out the door, I hear something in the closet. Here are some stories from Peru and why I actually left Peru eventually, because Peru is a great place. I first landed in Lima, and then I left Peru very quickly. I left Lima very quickly to tour more of Peru. The geography of Peru is, might I dare say, one of the best, if not the best, in terms of diversity in South America, because there's so many mountains. Obviously, you have Machu Picchu, but you also have Huacachino, Agua Caliente, that entire town, phenomenal. I stayed there for maybe 10 days in Agua Caliente. I was there when Drake's album came out, so then I remember that album and Agua Caliente perhaps for the rest of my life. I went to Cusco, Peru, wonderful place. And these places are high in the mountains, you understand. So then when you go, it's not like you're just, walking from place to place or moving from city to city. It's actually a couple hours in between these different places, because these are mountains. You have to come down the mountain and you have to travel through the valleys and go up the mountain, maybe come down one more time, go back up. But Peru, great diversity. But it wasn't all good. But Peru Hop, shout out to you guys, because Peru Hop, special mention, I'm not a sponsor, this is not a sponsored video at all, but Peru Hop made my journey so easy. Peru Hop, they allow you to hop on in a city, stay there for a few days, and then hop back on the bus to the next city, and you can plan your way like this. So then if you want to see most of Peru, you can do it through Peru Hop, and you can travel from place to place, and you're just buying one pass pretty much, and then they will take you all over and then drop you back in Lima for about how long. So then you don't need to stay for 6 days. You don't need to go and then get on the bus by the next day. You can stay a week, 2 weeks, 1 month, and you can come all the way back to Lima, which is a really good service. So that's actually how I saw most of Peru, through Peru Hop. Fantastic. Because I was going to rent a car. Don't do that. Do Peru Hop. Again, not a sponsor. They should pay me, shouldn't they? Here's actually what's interesting about Lima. Obviously, as I said, I do online dating, and so I met this woman in Peru, in Lima. So I'm there in Lima. I get a text. Hey, before we go out, I'm getting ready. You can come. I'll be ready by the time that you get to the apartment. So I said, all right, cool. No problem. It's about to be lit. You see what I'm saying? We're going to go out. We're going to have a good time. We're going to go dancing. So I was like, all right, bet. We're going out. So I get to the apartment. I say, yo, sweetheart, I'm downstairs. Come through. I'm ready. She texts me, hey, I'm not yet getting ready. I'm not yet done. You want to come up and just wait in the living room? I was like, shoot. Let's do it. So I was like, all right, how do I get upstairs? She was like, just come upstairs. No problem. Here's a room number. So I come upstairs. I'm knocking on the door. I knock on the door slides open. The door is open. As the door creaks open, I look inside. There's no lights on, but I can see a red shadow, red light, right? So I'm looking inside. It's dark. I say, hey, I see a woman pop out the closet or behind some wall. And she was like, hey, come on in. No, the room is dark. And all I'm seeing is red strobe lights, right? Like it's a strip club, red strobe lights. And as I said, okay, let me walk in. I'm a muscular guy. I think I can take care of myself. So I walk in. I'm walking in slowly. I see her, and I'm starting to see more of her. She's in nothing but lingerie. Now I'm thinking, oh, this is about to go down. Nothing but lingerie. I see her come from behind the wall. I walk in. Immediately, she starts dancing on me in her lingerie. I was like, all right, this is where my spider senses started tinkling, because I was like, I don't remember it being this easy. I don't remember it being this easy. She's dancing on me in the lingerie in the middle of the living room. She's ready. First of all, I thought that she was getting ready. So then remember, that was the story. Get into her apartment, come upstairs. I'm not done getting ready. I'm looking at her right now. I don't even think she was trying to get dressed. So she's in lingerie. She's dancing on me. I say, all right, hold up, slow up. Let me, first of all, are we still going out? Like, let's just, hold on. Let me just talk to you for a second, because now this is starting to feel like a setup. Because what's about to happen to me is that I'm about to take off my clothes. 5 guys are about to pop out the closet. And that's going to be the end of me. Because I've seen this on before. I've seen this show before on Instagram, on Facebook. So I was like, okay, just pause for a second. We're sitting on the couch. She's sitting here. I'm sitting here. So I'm looking at her. The door is behind her. So I want to face the door. Right? So she's talking to me. So I was like, all right, so tell me, what's your goals? Right? Tell me about yourself. Tell me, you have siblings? Do you want, what's your career goals? Where are you going after this? So I'm asking questions, and she looks annoyed. So then I was like, okay. So then she actually doesn't want to date. This was actually everything that she wanted. Now, let me tell you something. I look down. Brother, I looked at the knuckles. Oh, no. I was like, oh, damn, I didn't even know. Cool. So then I'm there. I was like, oh, you know what? I don't think this is for me on multiple levels. One, I don't want to come in and just be like, yo, we're getting to work. I'm not that type of person. I'm the type, let me take you on for your dates. First, let me talk to you. And also, you didn't tell me, brother. You didn't tell me that it was like this. So then now I'm thinking, all right, this is either a setup, or she's lying, or this is about to be a whole thing for me, a whole movie. So I was like, you know what? I don't feel comfortable. I'm going to leave. As I'm walking out the door, I hear something in the closet. Because remember, the door is there. I hear something in the closet, brother. I start sprinting. I never look back. I start sprinting out the door, cut it down the hallway. I took the stairs. I didn't take the elevator because I didn't want anybody to catch me. Brother, let me tell you something. I was so goddamn sure that was somebody in the closet waiting for me to take off my clothes and set me up. So the fact I'm here today, telling you, that was a crazy story. And so if you're ever in Lima and you're invited to someone's apartment, don't do that. Don't do that. That was the first crazy story I had in Lima or in Peru, because that's where I was like, all right, I need to be more cautious, because I had just started traveling. That was my fourth country maybe. Yeah, I was a bit stupid. So, a bit naive. Now I'm a bit smarter. That hasn't happened to me since. But, man, you gotta be careful. I would have been a different Kadeem talking in front of this camera. But here's another cool thing. I'm gonna make a part 2 because this video is gonna get kind of long. But here's actually something also very cool. I met a guy named Owen, and we still follow each other on Instagram. But I met him in Lima. He was a cool dude, and I met him in Lima. We were talking. I found him in my apartment one day, and I was like, "Hey, what's your name, brother? Where are you from?" I noticed that you're not from Peru because I can see that you're a white dude. And he was like, "Yeah, he's from America." I think he said he was from Boston or Michigan or something like that, wherever he was from. And he was like, "Yeah, he has actually some friends coming, and he's actually going to be, traveling around Peru. He's probably going to be staying there for a while." Okay, cool. So I travel, I leave. Now I'm in Argentina. Guess who texts me that he's in Argentina, Buenos Aires? This motherfucker. So then now I met him in Lima. He was like, yo, because I post my travels on my Instagram. So he was like, yo, brother, I'm in Buenos Aires. I was like, there's no way. So then we actually met up in Buenos Aires, and I met all of his friends from the USA, and then we went on a cool date together. We went out, we saw China City. What do you call it? What do you call China City? I forgot what name for that is. There's a name for that, right? China City. It's not China City. But anyway, you know what I mean. The city where they mimic the Chinese culture in Buenos Aires. So we went there. We went to Old Glorieta. It was nice. All of these things we did in Buenos Aires. It was very nice. And so I met, and his name was Owen. And then he went back, and we continued to follow each other on Instagram. But that was very cool to actually meet people that you can see from one country, meet somewhere else. And I actually did that twice because there are women that I also saw in multiple countries as well. But she was just a friend. Just a friend. I promise. Okay. Last thing I'll say on this video, because I'm going to make a part 2, is there was, ironically, the last place I stayed in before I left Peru was an old person's house. There was a cat in it, but one of the, it smelled so bad. Smallest bathroom I've ever used. There was cat hair everywhere. Absolutely shit place, but it was fantastic. I know it was a shit place, but it was fantastic, I'm telling you. And it was in the city, so it was a very, very small place. I remember Peru has that Spanish feel to it, right? So the architecture, beautiful, but it was a shit place. Bathroom kind of doesn't work. The handle is somewhere else. The toilet is here. The handle is up here. The drain is terrible place. Most uncomfortable bed I've had in Peru. But they lent me their bike. Getting that bike, I was able to see more of Lima than I've ever had because I was there for maybe 4 days. So I saw Lima for an entirely new perspective because I was able to borrow their bike and I left in the morning, like 8 a.m. And then I would bring my charger with me so I wouldn't need to come back until like 9 p.m. As I said, I was safe. I'm a tall black man. I'm fine. So I went, I saw the cliffs. I went up these places. There was the waterfalls. Everything is on my Instagram. But then eventually it got so bad because I was biking everywhere and I wasn't used to it. My legs actually started to cramp. So I remember on the last day, as I was coming back and I wasn't drinking enough water, I actually physically could not make it back on my bike anymore. So I had to stop and rest for like 45 minutes on a park bench. Just me, by myself, on a park bench by the coast. No phone. I'm just there, just fending for my life, trying to fight this cramp. I was like, damn, I'm really in trouble. And this is like 9 o'clock in the night. So I'm really trying to fend for my life here. Eventually, obviously, I did make it back. I started walking because I didn't want to stay there. But the good thing about Lima is that all along the coast, there's a pathway to walk. So you can actually walk, and it's maybe like tens of kilometers, maybe 20 kilometers, maybe more than that. But you can pretty much walk from one side of Lima all the way to the south side. So from north to the south side, or however you want to phrase it. And it's really cool that they did that because you can run across the entire coastline. You can bike across the entire coastline completely safe. And there are police there pretty much 24/7. So it's really cool. And so I didn't feel like I was in danger, but I can understand if I were a woman, that would have been one of the worst experiences for me in Peru. But all in all, if I were to give my top place in Peru, it would be Huacachino. It was the oasis. It was an oasis in the middle of the desert. I've never seen anywhere like it, and I don't think I ever will. So, yeah, that was my Peru experience. I will make a part 2 to this. If you want to keep watching, promise you I got more stories right here. See you soon, guys.